Hey everybody, my name is Hartun and this is the Simple Tutoring channel. Today we're going to be learning the two-step equations and how it is and how to solve these. And also we're going to be answering the key question today, which is how does a two-step equation contribute to all algebra? But before we get into that, please take a moment and hit the subscription button. And beside it, there's a little bell that will allow you to get notifications every time I post a video daily. I know these past few days I haven't posted anything. That is my bad. 1,000 apologies. So without further ado, let's get started. So in order to understand how and what a two-step equation is, we're going to know, well, we need to know first of all how to solve them, okay? That's going to be first on our agenda. But before we do that, we're going to know why is it important to do all these little baby steps and the steps, right, as in the name two-step, in order to, because you can do these in your head, most of them, right? So, and that's going to be a second thing. So first things first, it is imperative that you know the steps and do the little baby steps for these little ones. Because when you get to something big like this, it's going to be very hard for you. Take a look at this. Take a look at our third example that we're going to do at the end today. Look how long it is, right? There's no answer, right? So you need to know these steps. Okay, so let's actually start doing a couple of them, yeah? So here we have our first example, 4x minus 4 equals 180. Now the thing with two-step equations is you have to use some type of a strategy. This is a very strategical math questions, like algebra, right? So, because this is algebra. So what we want to do, okay, ideally, is we want to get the x's on one side and the non-x's on another side. That's in simple terms. In math terms, it's get the x's on one side and get the terms on another side. Now, to do that, we're going to have to, here we have a mumbo jumbo. Here we have a 4x subtracted, we have a 4 being subtracted from a 4x, right? So in order to get these into the separate piles it needs to be to sort them out, we're going to have to add 4 here. Now you're asking, why are you adding 4? Because look, if we add 4 here, it cancels out. There is no longer a plus or minus 4 here. It is now just a 4x plus or minus 0. Now, we're going to bring down the 4x here, and we're going to do this. Now, a rule in algebra is what you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do the exact same on the other side. So here, notice we added a plus 4, right? So we're going to add a plus 4 here. And that gives us 184, okay? And now, the second step, that's the first step, is sorting them out. Second step is to divide. Now, what are we going to divide and by who? We're going to divide this x, because see, okay, look. So this 4 in front of the x, right? That is called the coefficient, right? And then this x is essentially 4 times x. But in math, you just crunch it together and you get 4x. So what is the inverse of multiplication? It is division, right? So we're going to divide this x by 4. Divide that by 4 and you get x. Now what we do on one side, we're going to have to do to the other side, just like we did up top. So 184 divided by 4 gives us a total of 46. And that's your answer. Now, how do we check this? Very easy. If x is 46, does that mean that we can put 46 in for x? Yes, it does. So let's plug that in. So I'm gonna just erase this real quick, just so we can free up some space. Okay. So we have 4 multiplied by 46, okay, and then minus 4 equals 180. Now let's solve this. 4 times 46 is 184, okay? Remember PEMDAS, that is very key. Subtract 4 from 184, because that's next, and then you get 180. So this means that this is true. Our x value is correct for how we solved it, okay? So let's move on to the second one, right? We got 63 plus d equals 105. So let's subtract 63. So first things first, okay? We have our variable added to our 63, and we have our whole number on the other side. We want to get it both even, right? Remember that. We need to get it both even. So we're going to subtract 63 here. That cancels out. There no longer is a 63 on the left side. Now we subtract the 63 here, and we have a D equals 42. Yep, that's right. Now, okay, don't freak out. Don't freak out. I'm gonna tell you step by step how to solve this big boy over here. Okay, so what do we know so far? We know in a previous video that if there is a 2 or any number in front of parentheses, it means to multiply. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little dot right there, okay? That's 2 dots. Put a little dot right there. That dot means multiplication. That reminds us that this is not addition, not division, not subtraction, but multiplication. And same here. We have a 3 in front of the parentheses. That means multiply. Now, one more thing I always say is to draw your arrows. We're going to draw our arrows from the 2 to the x, from the 2 to the -4, and from the 3 to the x, the 3 to the -4. Notice we haven't done any steps yet. We haven't done any of the 2 steps, canceling out and dividing. Right now, we're just making the problem easier for us to solve, right? Okay. Now we can actually start doing the steps. 2 times x, we know, is 2x. 2 times -4 is -8. We just bring that down. We add don't forget to bring down the equal sign. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times -4 is -12. Now, right here, we're kind of at a stalemate. Here you have a couple options. Option A, you can add the 8 to here and have just the 2x equals 3x, and whatever that is. Or option B, you can add the 8 to both sides. I personally like to have my variables on the left side and have my whole numbers on the right side. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to add 8 here, subtract, that cancels out, okay? And then add 8 to the other side. So we have here, I'm just gonna write it here because we don't have enough room. 2x equals, 2x equals 3x plus -4. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 3x from here, because here we have an x and an x, right? And we want to get those to come together. So we're going to subtract 3x from 3. That cancels out. Subtract 3x from here. And then 2 minus 3, we know, is -1x equals -4. So we're done here. Nah, I'm just playing. Because we have a negative in front of that 1. If this was a positive 1, we could have stopped there and our answer could have been -4. This is a common mistake that I've seen a lot of people do when working out these math problems. If they see a -1, they leave the negative there. But remember, -x does not equal -4. X needs to equal the number. It has to be a positive x. So what do? We divide this by none other than -1. Because the 2 negatives cancel out and we have a positive. So that cancels out and we get x equals -4 divided by, remember, a negative divided by a negative always gives you a positive. Negative divided by negative gives a -4 divided by -1 gives us a simple 4. And that, my friends, is how you do 2-step equations, 6th grade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.